Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. Good to see you, even though I can't see you, but you can see me, and that's all that matters. So here, we can see Just Kyle tweeted me at CWA, specifically with that Alcazar, which is important to do first. Ascend fully or fully book. Now, you can read my response if you want to, but essentially, I get these questions all the time, and you can tweet me your own raid questions at CWA. I'm easy to find. I'll answer them if I see them. I don't see every single one, but happy to give advice at any time. But I thought today, why not just make a video talking about the process that I use when upgrading any sort of champion inside the game, depending on that champion, their role on my account. So that's what I'm going to try to do for you guys today. So the first thing that I think about when maxing any champion, when investing, and when I say max, probably a bad word because we're not just talking about maxing, we're talking about champions that you're only taking to level 40, champions that you're only taking to level 50. So maxing, forget I even said that, because not every champion in this game needs to be fully maxed out in terms of getting some utility out of them, especially in faction wars, but in a variety of different areas in the game. So the first thing that I ask myself here, I'm working on a champion right now for tomorrow's video, the first rare that I've invested in, that I've actually will be maxing out in a long time. I think in the whole year of 2021. I could be wrong there. I'll double check. It's Hellfreak. So very fun champion, high multipliers, a cool kit, right? So I want to max him. I've almost got him fully ranked up and ascended. But before we get into my priorities, let me tell you about what I think about. The first thing that I think about is, do I want to fully 6-star, and fully ascend this champion anyway? Do I want to take them all the way to level 60 fully max?
Yes, definitely.
And if the answer is yes, then I'll proceed pretty aggressively, right? If the answer is no, then, knowing that I only need to take them to level 50, the first thing that I want to ask is do I need to ascend them? And when I look at ascending a champion, I'm really looking for, two things, especially a level 50 champion. We're not going to be able to have the banner anyway on those champions. So the biggest thing I'm looking for is a skill change. So when I say skill change or a skill ascension change, I look at champions like, there's a lot of them, right? Even like a lot of them have them, but they're not that important, like Cold Heart. You can see the little, emblem there. It means ascended skill. It will attack 4 times instead on the A1, still attacks 4 times on both versions, but will have 100% heal reduction as opposed to 50% heal reduction on the A1 once we have 3 stars fully ascended on this champion, right? So, on some use cases such as Cold Heart, I still want to ascend her because I still want to get the 6-star Cold Heart because it's amazing and I want to get the accuracy banner on her. But just for the ascension, I'm not prioritizing getting 100% heal reduction over a 50% heal reduction. But a champion like, say, Diabolist, who's an amazing underrated rare champion, look at this positive charge ability. Fills the turn meters of all allies on a 4-turn win book. That's cool. But then decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 15% as well in the same ability. I definitely want to ascend her to at least 3 stars. So here's what I do on any of my champions, regardless of their rarity or whatever, right? Regardless of what I want to do with them. I am always keeping a fresh supply of potions on my account and chickens, ideally, chickens or food, ideally, right? To fully max 1 character at least, right? So what do I mean by that? I mean, Arcane Keep, all of the different potion keeps as well, right? I am using my auto battles to ensure that I always have enough potions to immediately max fully ascend a legendary champion. Legendaries take a lot more potions than other champions, but I want to be ready for anything because there's nothing worse in this game, ladies and gentlemen, than being all ready to max out a champion and you're like, oh crap, that keep doesn't open until next Friday.
Am I bothering you? Yes. Okay, well, I'll just come back later. Why would you do that? Well, so I can come back, later when I'm not bothering you. But that's not possible.
You don't want to be paying 300 or 200 gems to open up these dungeons. So what you want to do is at least have enough potions at all times, bare minimum stockpiled, to fully ascend any champion that you choose to. And then once you fully ascend that one champion, you make it a priority to go right back into those keeps and make sure you're stockpiling those potions again for the next champion. That way you're not aggravating yourself. Same thing with Arcane Keep on the Arcane potions, okay? So just make sure you're always doing that. That's first and foremost. Now, if you have the discipline, then I'm not gonna lie to you guys. On my free-to-play account especially, I do not have the discipline to always have 5 level 50, or I should say 5 5-star champions for food. I don't always have that.
Is your life just terrible? I know how that feels.
However, I wish I did, right? You should always be farming food in this game, right? That way you can fully rank up a champion too, because sometimes when you get that shiny new champion, you just want to max them out. You don't want it to be a week or 2 week process to max out one champion, right? Or more, depending on how often you play and how much you spend, right, in this game. So again, ideally, in the perfect world scenario, you will have enough, again, potions. Look at my my level up brews here. They're hurting for certain here.
Let's just be real. You ain't got no cash. You ain't.
Also, brews. I want to stockpile for champions that I really want to, max out quickly. I've used all my brews recently, but again, I'll stop belaboring the point. But that's the big thing that I'm looking for here is always having a lot of either chickens or food ready to go. Same thing with potions. Let's see what I have right now. I'm pretty good, but look at my potions. Force and magic affinities. I need to go back in there and I need some more brews here. You know, ideally everything would be at where my voids are right now in arcane, right? Those are cool. Even spirit 19, yeah, I could probably get one champion maxed out of that, but I need to, do what I'm telling you guys to do. And I definitely want to make sure that I'm going. So today, after this video, actually, I'm going to go into force or magic, what was open right now, and I'm going to make sure I stockpile on those potions. What is open? Spirit, of course, right? All right. So after we have the ascension, in terms of priorities, I am always focusing on both leveling up, ranking up my champions, and also ascending my champions, right? I'm doing it at the same time. And then once I get them to a level 40 or level 50, then I'll start looking at artifacts, okay? So let's talk about artifacts. Actually, pause on artifacts. Let's talk about books really quickly here.
Don't say that.
So some champions, you just don't need to book, guys. You have to get it out of your head that you have to book up every single champion in your account. Same thing with masteries as well. Let me give you an example. I have Allure here. Allure, I only really care about her A1. We can get into Allure in a future video, but all you need to know is all I care about is her A1. And I care about her having enough accuracy to land that A1. On the A2, look at all these books. I don't even care about it, man. On the A3, I don't even use this ability. I turn it off. I don't need to. I have her booked in this video because, whatever, pay to win, right? But I don't need to have her booked. So don't waste books, even epic books, even rare books. Don't waste them on champions that you don't need them for. If the ability that you really want them to use doesn't require any books, then don't waste your books, okay? Don't waste your skill tomes, even if you have them. Even if you have 200 skill tomes. Don't waste them on champions that you don't need them. Same thing with masteries. Generally speaking, once I have a champion to around level 40 or level 50, I will start farming their masteries if I need to. Now, this Allure, obviously, she's going to be better with full masteries. Like, that's something that you can't argue. However, it's not necessary. I just have her coming in and doing her A1, and that's what makes her so amazing. My other Allure, I do have masteries on, and sure, you can get more damage, more accuracy that way, a little bit more easier to build those champions. But what I'm trying to do with my champions, especially on my free-to-play, is around level 50, or level 40 or 50, as soon as I'm going to start using that champion in, say, Faction Wars, right? I'm kind of mid-game, beginning game, early game right here. I am only farming their tier 1 and tier 2 masteries out the gate, right? When I get them fully ranked up, or like level 50, level 60, then I'll start working on the rest of their masteries, right? If it's a champion I really know 100% I'm going to take to level 60, sure, I'll do masteries a little bit earlier if I have the time and the energy, right? But I want to pick up the accuracy if I need it in pinpoint accuracy, in charge focus, and even in swarm smiter, and I definitely want to pick up deadly precision on crit rate and keen strike for crit damage on my nukers, okay? So I'm just going in there, spending a few runs. It doesn't take long, right? Take you 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever, to farm the first few rows of masteries. After I do that, I know I have the accuracy if I need it, and the crit rate, crit damage boost. That's going to help me a lot without me having to invest, a few hours into mastery farming. So that's how I handle masteries. Once they're fully leveled up to 60, then I'll make the decision. Do I want to go in there? Do I need to go in there and get masteries for this champion? Again, like Allure, I don't need to do it.
If you don't take this offer right now, I will lose all respect for you and punch you.
I mean, she does great without masteries. I don't need masteries on her, okay? So that's how I handle masteries. Now, artifacts. So let's just say, let's go back to good old Hellfreak here, right? Where are you? Where are you, buddy? He is right over here. Okay, so Hellfreak. So I have him almost level 59. He's almost there. He's almost there, right? So what I want to do with him is I've already booked him out. I've already used my skill tomes, and boy, was there a lot of freaking skill tomes. Good God, man. And when I'm using skill tomes, by the way, I am looking at the big thing that I'm looking for is cooldown, right? I want to reduce cooldowns of abilities, or I want to take an ability that has like a 75% land rate and bring it up to 100%. So like a decreased defense, decreased attack, something like that on an AoE. It's going to help you out a lot if you get that buff debuff chance up as high as possible, okay? So that's what I'm looking for along with cooldowns. Damage, healing, all that crap, I don't really care about that much. It doesn't make a big impact. So on a champion like, for example, Skull Crown, right? Where are you? Skull Crusher, excuse me. If I get that first book into his A2 into Stonewall, I'm not going to waste, 4 more legendary books, or epic books, excuse me, on his smash ability, on his A1. It would be dumb to do so. He doesn't put out, it's not about damage with him. And yeah, sure, you get a little bit extra. It's nice to have, I guess, if you're willing to throw away books. But if you get lucky and it goes into the A2, you don't need to worry about wasting your books on the A1. Just be thoughtful about these things. Now, let me touch on artifacts before we let you guys go. This is important as well. So, when I have a champion, again, at that level 30 or 40, at that level 50, here is how I handle their gear, okay? I'll go with the first row, I'll take it to, if they're rare artifacts, sometimes I only take it to level 8 because a rare artifact, as you guys know, do I even have any? Yes, I do, right here. So, I'm getting my 2 substat rolls here. Let me move myself out of the way. I'm getting my 2 substat rolls already out of level 8, right? So for my helmet, for my weapon, for my shield, I'm taking it to level 8 at least, so I can see where the substat extra rolls go. After that, I am not wasting my silver on the top row of artifacts. After that, I'm going to the middle row of artifacts, right? And I'm going to prioritize getting all of these artifacts in the middle row to level 16. Fully maxed out artifacts, right? Usually I'm putting speed on 99%, speed boots on 99% of my champions, and I'm putting on anybody that I want to get damage out of, I am putting crit rate on the gauntlets. Later on, I will transition my nukers from crit rate to crit damage. And those old crit rate gauntlets, I can use them as kind of hand-me-downs, right? So in the beginning, it's so much easier to just gear a champion with 100% crit rate by putting crit rate on their gauntlets, a nuker, right? After that, I'll try to look for crit damage gauntlets with a substat of crit rate. Let me repeat that. Crit damage gauntlets with a substat of crit rate. I'm always holding those artifacts. We're looking for crit damage on the gauntlets with crit rate substats as we progress into the mid and the end game for all of our nukers, okay? And I kind of use a hand-me-down, piggybacking on the hand-me-down point, I use that kind of strategy on all of my champions, right? My best champions are going to be my arena champions and my clan boss champions. And then I'll kind of hand their gear down as I upgrade it, and not too frequently, but maybe about once a month or so, I'll look at their artifacts, my best champions, my clan boss, my PvP arena team, and then I'll take a moment and say, do I have any better artifacts? If so, I put the better artifacts on them, and then I hand down the other artifacts they had, right? Just to make sure I'm always optimizing my champions and my account in general. So, other important points here, guys. If you have not fully ascended a champion, let's say you take all these artifacts to level 16. Let's say it's a decreased defense champion or a provoke champion or something like that, right? Someone who's landing an important debuff that you're really trying to, land is a key component of your team overall. Don't be afraid in the early game of putting your debuffers in defense percentage or HP percentage gauntlets instead of crit rate, instead of crit damage, and then putting an accuracy chest on them, right? Because when you don't have them fully 6-star ascended, basically totally maxed out, you're not going to be able to take advantage of your banner. Your banner is your #1 source of accuracy alongside Great Hall on all of your champions. So utilizing your banner for accuracy is going to really help you out. But in the meantime, let's say you're still firing potions or you just haven't got around to it, or they're just not 6-starred, they're 5-starred. Don't be afraid of getting that extra defensive or HP stats from your gauntlets and then putting accuracy on the chest, because what good is a debuffer if they're not landing their debuffs, right? So very, very important. Again, I'll just leave you with that thought there that not every champion has to be fully booked. Not every champion has to be fully ascended as well. I talked about this on my free-to-play account on many videos, but on my free-to-play account, I'm investing in a bunch of level 50 champions, right? Even some level 40 champions just to help me out, primarily for faction wars. And why are faction wars so important in this game? They're so important not just because of the glyphs, which is the last thing I usually do, by the way, on artifacts. I will glyph them out at the end when I kind of have everything come together in terms of, okay, these are the artifacts I want on this champion. Now let's use my glyphs on them. And I'm not wasting glyphs on stats that I don't care about. For example, a defense-based champion, I'm never using my attack glyphs on those artifacts. Common sense, but it's useful to say. I will use resist glyphs though. I feel like, am I the only one who has like a bunch of resist glyphs? I have got resist glyphs for days, guys. I got so many of them, but I still use them. Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent here, guys. What was I saying? I think that's it. That's gonna run us through the... Oh, no, I was talking about faction wars. There we go, Ash. Come on, bro. So faction wars, I'm primarily prioritizing my faction wars, and this is why I don't mind level 40 champions and level 50 champions on new accounts or free-to-play accounts or mid-game accounts. I don't mind them because I am farming faction wars to get mainly perception artifacts in the forge, and you can get these bloodstones from the faction wars. That's why it's not a bad idea to invest in even level 40 and level 50 champions. Guys, I hope that you've been able to pick out at least 1 or 2 tips from this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.